Hello, welcome to new unboxing and quick analysis. Today will be a new quadcopter. In fact, it's nothing else than the compact FPV flyer. This is a new revision of the Flying3D X6. Now it's called X6 Plus. It's now including a small FPV kit. So you can enjoy still some GPS functionalities such return to home, altitude hold, but also enjoy some FPV flight for this very nice and compact flyer. This is a trim version of the X8. So it came with exactly the same box than the former edition, okay? But you will have this extra box containing all the FPV material. So I already opened everything. So what you will find in this two box, here is the quadcopter. Okay, so it's exactly an external sign, exactly the same canopy of the Flying3D X6, but the main novelty will be located beneath. Here is the FPV camera combo and recording in the same time, thanks to this lens module, some 720p videos more. As you can see, you have a wide angle to enjoy a large field of view. So you have 120 degree field of view. And on the rear part, here is the SMA connector to attach the transmission 5.8 GHz antennas. On the bottom part also, you can find a micro dip switch with 3 positions, okay, allowing to select one of the 8 different frequency. Okay, so it's working on the Bascam band, and on the right side you can find a micro SD slot. Be aware, no micro SD card was provided. Okay, so you have to give yours. You can insert the micro SD card, why not to 4 GB, and like this, and you will be able to record the 720p videos. On the center part you can find this very small switch. It's to turn on and off the video FPV combo. And finally, this very small and compact is to turn on the video recording or to take photos. So it's very annoying because you cannot use your finger to turn on or off the videos. You will need a small tools. Flying3D is giving this metal bar to turn off, but when you have the landing gear installed, it's not very well adapted. So it's better to use a screwdriver. Okay, it means that when you will be able to fly, don't forget to take with you such kind of tools to turn on videos. How to do it? You have to long press this button. Okay, you have a mini switch. You have to long press it more than 2 or 3 seconds to turn on or off recording. It's really annoying. Okay, so another good news, I would say, is the lens can be oriented if you want to target more the ground or more the horizontal line. That's a good point. For the rest, is exactly the same. Only 2 LEDs to indicate the control status on the rear. So it gives you an indication of the GPS status, if you are receiving correctly minimum of satellites and so on, or in which flight mode you are currently. The motor are still the same, okay, some 18 type, and the props also some 5-inch. So as you already may know, this Flying3D X6 is not welcoming out of the box some 6-inch because it will damage this part, this front part. 2 options. Either you will cut this part, this plastic cut, to welcome some these 6-inch props, or you can install some washer, some spacer to raise a bit the motors to welcome some 6-inch. And in this case, the Flying3D will become more sporty, and you can extend a little bit the flying duration. Okay, so out of the box, without any LiPo, the FPV combo scale 50 grams, and it's plugged to the is taking its power from the USB port here. Okay, usually you are using this port, USB port, to connect to your ground station software. Now you have to plug your camera to take the power for the FPV. The emitted power is not announced, but it's probably a 200 milliwatts video transmitter working on 5.8 GHz. It's attached to the main body through these 2 screws. So in your bag you will have 4 screws like this. Okay, and if you plan to install the FPV combo, I guess yes, you will have two longer ones to attach here, okay? So you have to use the longer one to attach both the FPV combo camera and the landing gears, the front part of the landing gears. But everything is common. On the top of it, you will find the GPS module. Now, thanks to the new version of the firmware, you can receive both GPS and GLONASS satellites, so you will increase the number of satellites and increase a little bit the GPS accuracy. And you have to know that out of the box, mine came with the new version, V2 branch firmware version. So you have to use the V2 ground station software, okay, from the Big Shark website, and they rebuild a little bit the GUI, graphic user interface, and it's more friendly, and you can tune a little bit better, a more friendly way all the parameters. Okay, that's good. And this ground station software is associated with the V2 firmware branch, and the last one is offer more stabilities in GPS mode, altitude hold. Okay, so that's good news. They, after maybe 1 year or 2 years, the Flying3D X already available, they start to converge to a firmware which bringing a lot of stabilities. That's definitively a good point. Two advice for the Flying3D. I already performed a video on it. If you don't want to disassemble your Flying3D each time you want to rebind your quadcopter with the transmitter, because the bind button, well, the bind procedure, you have to, out of the box, split into the canopy, so and screw more than a lot of screw to access to it. I strongly advise to perform the bind mode. It means that you have to install, for example, a very small and compact switch, okay, connected to the receiver, and in this case you just have to play with this bind button to enter in binding mode. That's a very cool mode to do. Another one I strongly advise is to install some EMI paper inside the canopy. Okay, it will shield all the GPS area, and it will be more robust to receive more satellites. That's definitively also a mode to do to improve the situation. With these two modes, really, this machine becomes much more friendly, but out of the box is working fine. Don't worry, because it's come already bound between your transmitter and your receiver. But in case, in an accident, if unfortunately sometime you can press on the bind button by accident, and you can remove the binding between the matching between the both, and you have to restart the binding procedure. This is why the binding mode here is very useful in practice. So the transmitter is no more, don't have any more an LCD. That's for me a drawback. But it's a very basic FlySky. In fact, even is written Flying3D. It's a basic FlySky model. The gimbal are still the same, not bad at all. So in your bag, when with your Flying3D X Plus, you will have to screw the sticks on the top. Okay, and no LCD display. You have just this basic information LEDs. So when it's bound, it's green, okay? And when you are entering in binding mode, it will flash to red. So it's an indication. You can see it on my video. Two switch mode available. The left one, okay, is only a two-way. So when you are on top, you are in the altitude hold, okay? No more manual flights. So in altitude hold, it will use only the compass, okay? That's only the compass, any GPS. So it will stay in altitude. When you release the throttle stick to 50%. So now you notice by default, both sticks are auto-centralized. Okay, so in altitude hold, when you leave both sticks, it will stay, it will hover in place. If you want more stability, you can also add the GPS information by pressing down the switch A. Okay, the switch B is associated to the different flight mode also. So when it's up, it's a normal mode. Okay, when you are in the middle, you are activate the headless mode. Of course, it can work in combination with the switch A. And finally, when it's totally down, you will engage the return to home functionalities. It means that the quadcopter will land automatically to the location where it took off previously. Only 4 AA batteries are needed, are required to feed your transmitter. You have trainer ports, maybe eventually to upgrade the software, but it's not really useful. It's blocked by the Flying3D. And the main novelty, as you can see, you will have to attach, thanks to this bracket, the small, or we say small, 4.3 FPV monitors. So out of the box, as you can see, if I can give some angle, it's very bright. Okay, you have a lot of reflection without power it. Okay, so it's not, for me, it will be an handicap. So of course, it would have been better to have a matte screen to see it better in some strong, sunlight conditions. To power it, you will have to, again, to use a small screwdriver, because it's not very possible with a finger, with at least mine, and you will have to turn on. When you turn on, you can see this white snow. It's a good sign. It means that they flashed the firmware of the LCD monitor with the correct one to not lose brutally, instantaneously, your FPV transmission. Okay, usually when you don't flash with such firmware, when you're losing your video signal, it's brutal and it's not really ideal to have a calm FPV flight, and you are entering usually in panic mode when you're start to losing your video signal. Here you have the white snow. It's a good point. You have an indication of the internal LiPo battery, okay, here, but no other sign, no other telemetry, unfortunately, with mine. You have, of course, the same deep switch to match with your FPV combo camera, and here a micro USB plug to charge the internal LiPo. One more time, on the top here you can find, you have to attach the 500 GHz receiver antenna, okay, in ACMAC format. Everything is carrying something like 700 grams, but it's not so heavy, okay, more than 600 grams than 700. I will turn off the FPV monitors. You have to know, by default, you are working in the E8, the last Boscam frequency, so it's the 5905 MHz. So in order to give you an information about the FPV quality of the camera, I will show the difference of the videos between the built-in LCD and more expensive and higher quality FPV monitors, the Aomware HD 518. Okay, but before to show you the FPV parts, I will finish to give you what you will find in the box. This is a basic charger, okay, with this power cord, okay, and it will use the, you have to plug the LiPo with the balancer plug. Be aware this charger is not very efficient, and I strongly advise to use an external one, a more professional one, because you will damage very fast with this charger your LiPo. The LiPo, it's a basic 2S LiPo, 1000 mAh, only rated 20C, so it's not a fantastic quality LiPo. I strongly advise also to change as soon as possible the LiPo. I advise to use some Yizan X6 Tarantula LiPo. They are fitting perfectly the battery bay, and they are very efficient, and they are 30C, so giving much more punch to your quadcopter. So the battery bay is relatively small, as you can see. You don't have a lot of room to welcome the battery, so you need a very flat one, okay? So I can give you the information of the battery, but it's exactly the same than the former edition. So basically the lens you can use at a minimum 63-64 millimeters, okay? The width is 30, and the more important is the 8 is 15, okay? So you can insert a 15-16 LiPo without problem, but not a 20, unfortunately, or you will probably damage or bump the power distribution board. You can guess on the background here. Okay, so everything is there. It's the architecture of the inside is now, the hardware is more, how we call it, the version 1.5, so it means it's the 5th revision of the hardware, And inside you can find installed on the two front legs the 2.4 GHz antenna taped on the upper part of the canopy behind this white part. So you have the 2.4 GHz antenna working in diversity, and the control range with this radio is pretty good. You can have something that's 300-400 meters without any problem. And the video link is pretty strong too. That's also very, very good point. So really I like it. But compared to the version 1.2, 1.3 and 1.4, now everything is versus the 1.4, everything is stripped, the receiver and the flying controller, as you will see on my internal photos in my essay groups groundmagnet.com reviews. Okay. On the other hand, it's pretty easy to disassemble it. You just need to remove 1, 2, 3 screws per arms. Okay, so in total 12 plus you have this one, okay, and the two behind. So you have a very nominal number of screws to remove to access to the antenna and to split into the Flying3D X6. Now I will give you some idea of the FPV signal, and of course you have to check my orders videos. I will give you the total weight of this machine. So with the video FPV part, okay, you will see that I will give you the weight. Okay, I will use this small box to tar. So the total weight of this machine with the LiPo is less than 350 grams. Unfortunately, for the US market, you will need to register this machine, but it's not so heavy, okay? They had approximately less than 50 grams with this FPV plus the antenna. It's not so bad, but it's too heavy, unfortunately, and you will have to register for the US market. I will power the quadcopter, okay, just to give you an information about the FPV quality. So the good point, it can broadcast the FPV signal while recording 720p videos. Okay, you have to turn on the FPV monitors. Okay, I won't turn on, and you can see the video signal. Okay, like this. I will now also compare with the armway. I will turn on it. Okay, and you can see the difference of quality between both. You have an indication on the bottom here of the remaining time you can record on the associated SD card, inserted SD card. So here a 4 gigabyte SD card, and the well, you can see here the transmission, the LiPo level. That's a good point, as well as the receiver. Okay, so this information is broadcasted at least with the FPV signal. A little bit telemetry, but not so much more. So you have an indication when to land or not, thanks to this one. But I will turn on the recording. So as I said, with this small button, you have to press more than 3 seconds, I believe. I will use a smaller screwdriver. You need really a very small stuff, okay? And when it's recording, you have this timer, action 8. And the good news, well, you don't have a real frame rate drop when it's recording. A little bit one, but not so catastrophic, okay? Okay, well, we stop recording, have to long press. If you briefly press on it, it will take photos, okay, and you will have an indication how many photos you can take, okay. So about the indication, I am indoors, but in general, when you start to see blue LEDs, it means that you're receiving at least some basic satellites, okay. So you can see a blue one, 2 red and 1 blue. It means that I'm receiving at least some GPS information. That's pretty good because I am indoors. And thanks to my GPS mode, it's increasing the GPS sensitivity. Okay, I will disconnect now everything. So as I said, these FPV monitors offer a brilliant screen, And for me, even with the presence of the sunshade, in the strong daylight you cannot see really well the informations. Why? Because it's a bright screen behind and no brightness settings available from this one. So I am disappointing, I would say, by the FPV screen. It's a really basic one. Okay, you can select one of the 8 frequency band, but not so much more. So I strongly advise to fly it with a better ground station, at least a better FPV monitor like this one, for example, or your own goggles, okay, anyone. And it should work because it's using a basic Boscam band, no problem of compatibility. As soon as you have, for example, a 32 channel video receiver, it will work. So I will conclude this unboxing and quick analysis. Really what I like, and you will see on my orders videos, is the stability of the system. Thanks to the new firmware version, thanks to the also the new modification of the hardware they did, you have a better GPS reception. Okay, it's fixing more satellite, and you will see that the accuracy of this machine is pretty good for such compact, because it's always a challenge to have to gather a GPS module close to any other source of interferences, high frequency interferences. It's always a challenge to design such flyers, but they succeed. Okay, it's the 5th revision, so it's normal that they start to converge to something really working. The FPV signal is good, pretty strong, you will see. So the control range and the video range is pretty good. The 720p camera is good. In average, image is more or less crisp, so that's good. Okay. So a little frame rate drop when it's recording, but nothing catastrophic. So the FPV camera part is good. Okay, it's not the best one I observed, but at least you can select some channels. That's good, and you have a wide angle, and you can orientate the lens. That's good. I'm a little bit more disappointed by the radio. No more telemetry. It was very useful to have the telemetry, and unfortunately, even if now I can bind this quadcopter with any FlySky protocol, and you can bind with your former X6 radio, but it's not displaying the telemetry information. That means that the new firmware disables these telemetry features. Maybe it will be possible one day to add it. I'm not sure of it. It's under investigation. But well, the radio is okay even without information. But I think they could make a better effort on the LCD display. Not fantastic and not a catastrophic, but it's not very comfortable to fly, to use it in a strong daylight. So be aware of it. You will have to maybe to extend to make a more deeper sunshade, to make more dark condition around the monitor. Okay, I will stop this video. I hope I didn't forget anything. And if you like this video, please submit. And if you like my channel in general, please subscribe. Bye bye.